And hello, I'm Ross Collette. I'm having a great day. I hope you are as well. You know, I thank God for my interesting and varied life that I have. It's been so good to be a servant of the Lord and travel around the world some 6 times, my passport tells me, and preach in all sorts of foreign countries and enjoy every single moment of it. even the times that I was captured by the rebels out in Angola. I'm still glad for every moment of everything that happened to me. Well, one of the things that happened was I met a very interesting man back in the early 80s. His name was James Rohn. And Jim became a good friend of ours. As a matter of fact, his first edition that he did of his book, Seasons of Life, he dedicated it inside to me and Kay. And we enjoyed going to his seminars and things like that. But one of the things that he said, it popped back into my mind today. He was he had millionaires coming to hear him talk, and they would have educational conferences. They always had them in some exotic place, like they lived in California, but they wanted to have them in Hawaii, of all places, in Honolulu. So all of these millionaires sitting around some morning, probably sipping their lattes or coffees, one of them asked him this question. You know many important people, Mr. Rohn. You've traveled around the world. You know corporate people, you know ordinary people, investors. Can you tell us, what do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? Here was his answer. Gentlemen, I do know the right people. I can tell you, based on the people I know, and from the best of my own experience, I've concluded that in the coming 10 years, things are going to be just about like they've always been. Well, everybody laughed. They said, well, that's no prediction. But actually, it's the truth, isn't it? How are things going to change? He looked out at the ocean there and he said, look at this. That things are going to be just about like they've always been. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. It's been that way for 6,500 years that we know about. And how can we change it now? 6,500 years is kind of a little gravitas, don't you think? It's a little kind of like a foundation. That's the way things are. That's the way they have always been. And throughout all of recorded history, there are certain things that we can count on that will not change. God said similar. God said it would always be, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, summer and winter, cold and heat will not cease. That's Genesis 8:22. In other words, God's not going to change the whole world because of a few whining folks. During the bubonic plague, if you planted a seed, it still grew. During every great catastrophe that was going on, if you still remembered that seed time and harvest, cold and hot, things are not going to change. Tide goes in, sun comes up, sun goes down, day in, day out. If you remember, God has set certain things in order, and they will never, ever change. We need to get in God's way of thinking instead of man's hysteria that keeps running rampant everywhere. God bless you. I am Ross Collette. I'm a happy saint. I'm a happy traveler on this road. I hope you can join me. Like, subscribe, share. Get in touch with me at rosscollette.com. God bless you.